Okay guys, good afternoon. My name is Mr. Morales, and today we're going to be reading The Land of Hungry Armadillos by Lawrence David. And as you guys can see, there's a picture here of this guy and he's running away from a bunch of armadillos, right?
Yeah.
So let's find out what this book is about. Looks
Okay.
interesting. So, The Land of Hungry Armadillos by Lawrence David. "Give some crayons to your sister," Gus's mother yelled from the kitchen, "or I'll take them all away and no one will draw." Wendy reached for the box of crayons. Mom said to share. Gus frowned as Wendy took the rose red, boohoo blue, and slick silver crayons. He watched as she reached for a sheet of paper. "Go get your own," he said, slamming his hand down on the pile. Wendy stuck out her tongue and walked across the room. Gus took a piece of paper and drew a land that had red mountains, a lake of bubbling goo, and a line of hungry armadillos with wide open mouths. In the center, he drew his little sister crying. He looked at his drawing and grinned. So as you guys can see, here's Mom, right, screaming to Gus, "Gus!" And here is Gus, and here's Wendy. And Wendy is Wendy's upset, right?
Yeah.
So why is Wendy upset?
Oh, because Gus won't share?
Right, because Gus won't share, right? What won't he share? What won't he share, guys? Dominic, do you know what he won't share?
The crayons?
The crayons, right? He won't share his crayons.
Yeah.
All right, good. And there's the crayons, right, on the table. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. "What in the world?" Gus and Wendy's mother said. Gus looked up and saw his mother pointing at the wall where Wendy had scribbled a large, ugly crayon blotch. "I drew a cupcake," she said. "Why did you do that?" their mother asked. "Gus wouldn't give me any paper," Wendy said. "Gus," their mother said, "why can't you share? You have plenty of paper." "It's not my fault she's such a baby," Gus said. I'm not a baby," Wendy screamed. "Babies draw on walls," Gus told her. "Babies can't share," Wendy said. "That's enough," their mother interrupted. "You can both go up to your rooms, and don't come down until you've decided to behave." Wendy cried and ran up to her room. Gus began picking up the paper and crayons. "And leave those here," his mother said. So who's this here, guys?
The mom.
The mom, right?
Mom.
And what is she doing? You see how she's pointing upstairs? What is she telling Wendy?
Why she drawn on the wall? Yeah.
Well, she's telling her to go to her room, right?
Yeah.
And who's this?
Gus.
Gus, right?
Yeah. Gus.
And what's Gus doing?
He was drawing, and then he said, "Wendy's a baby drawn the walls," and then he said they can both go to their rooms because Wendy drew on the wall, and Gus said that she's a baby.
Right, exactly. Good, guys, awesome. Okay. Gus stared out of his bedroom window. He had toys and games, but he didn't want to play with them. He wanted to draw, but his sister had ruined that. His mother came into the room. "Are you ready to behave and come down for dinner?" she asked. "Your sister said she was sorry and cleaned up the wall." "Well, I'm not sorry," Gus told her. "I'll never be a good brother to that baby." His mother frowned. "Then you'll just have to eat up here by yourself." "I'm not hungry," Gus growled. His mother left the room without another word. So here's Mom, right? What is she doing?
And she's telling Gus
And what is Gus doing right here? He's staring out
He's staring at the window
out the
because he
window.
has toys and games and he doesn't want to play with them.
Right. Exactly. Awesome. Wow. High up in the sky, a star winked. Gus shut his eyes and wished for a box of crayons and a pad of paper all his own. When he opened his eyes, a tall creature with pointy ears and a long tail stood before him. The creature smiled a sharp-toothed smile. In his claws were the largest box of crayons and the largest pad of paper Gus had ever seen. So look, here's a creature. Pointy ears, right? Saying he has pointy ears and a long tail.
And let's come to...
Yeah, exactly. What does he have in his hands, the creature?
A box of crayons.
And what else? Is that all he has? Yeah, that is all he has, right?
And
Box.
he has a pile of paper.
Oh, that's right. The pile of paper's right here, huh? In his Gus's hands.
Mm.
Who are you? Gus asked. I'm Zoob, the creature said. You made a wish, and here I am. Zoob? Gus asked. All those crayons and all that paper are for me. He held out his hands. Zoob waved a finger. They're all yours for a trade, he explained. What will you give me in return? Gus looked around his room. How about a pair of purple socks or my atomic ace underwear? I don't think so, Zoob said. How about some old candy? I don't think so, Zoob said. Gus laughed. How about my little sister? Could you use her for anything? Zoob smiled. Oh, that would be a wonderful trade. I need help feeding my many hungry pets.
What?
Great, Gus said happily. He grabbed the paper and crayons Zoob offered him and went to his desk. He pulled the grasshopper green crayon from the box and drew a dragon's head. Sienna, pay attention, Sienna. Have fun, Zoob said. Good night. When Gus turned to say goodbye, Zoob was already gone. All right, let's see what happens next. One, early the next morning, and we see a picture of Gus. Right? He's waking up early the next morning. Gus collected his pictures.
That's the mom.
Well, let's see what happens. He rushed to his mother's bedroom to show her what he had drawn. She was still sleeping. Mommy's still sleeping. So he went to his sister's room. The door was open. There was no Wendy. On the wall above her bed, Gus saw the picture he'd drawn of her favorite doll. On top of the pile of pictures Gus held was a new one he'd made for Wendy. Wendy, he called out. No answer. He remembered how angry he'd been with her the day before and the deal he'd made with Zoob. Oh no, thought Gus. He searched the rest of the house. He couldn't find Wendy anywhere. So look, he's calling out for Wendy. Is Wendy there?
No. Oh, because remember he wished that, so that the armadillo can get Wendy, so that Wendy can feed all of the armadillo's pets.
Is that what's going to happen next? Let's find out.
Yeah.
Gus returned to his room and looked out at the sky. There's Gus looking out the window at the sky. The sun blazed bright and golden. No stars. Gus shut his eyes and made a wish anyway. Zoob, please bring Wendy home and I'll give you all the paper and crayons back, he said. I don't want them anymore. I just want my sister home. I don't hate her. I never meant for her really to be gone. Suddenly, Gus was no longer in his room. Suddenly, he was no longer home at all. There was a flash of lightning, and he found himself in a strange land. So here's Gus. Look, what's happening?
And he jumped into a new land.
Yeah, like he disappeared from his home and he wound up in another land, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Everywhere he looked, he saw people doing hard chores. One man rolled a rock up a hill. As soon as he let go, the rock rolled back down. And I think this is a picture of that, isn't it? There's the man, isn't it? The man, and he's saying, because he's trying to roll the ball up the hill, but what's that behind him?
An armadillo.
An armadillo? You guys see that?
Yeah.
And so the ball's rolling back down the hill. A large armadillo nipped at his heels. There's the armadillo nipping at his heels. The man moaned and pushed the rock up the hill again. Nearby, a woman tried to fill a pool with water from a well. See, Annie, pay attention. Whenever she filled her bucket, the water all poured out through holes in the bottom. An armadillo snapped at the woman's feet, forcing her to do her chore over and over again. What is that a picture of?
And the lady.
That's the woman right there, huh?
Yeah.
And you see how the armadillo, what is the armadillo doing?
And she's biting her feet.
He's snapping at her feet, huh? Snapping. Yeah. And all the water's falling out of the bucket. Oh, wow. Let's see what happens next. What happens next, guys? As Gus searched for his sister and Zoot, he happened upon more armadillos. A long line of the animals stretched far off into the distance. Gus kept walking. He finally spotted Wendy at the front of the line. She was frantically mixing cupcake batter and pouring it into molds. She baked, iced, and then passed out cupcakes to the waiting armadillos. The hungry armadillos snatched the cupcakes and swallowed them in one large gulp. The minute an armadillo finished a cupcake, it scuttled to the end of the line to wait for another. Wendy, what are you doing? Gus asked. Wendy scowled. I have to feed all the armadillos because you traded me to Zoob. Why can't you ever be nice? Gus shook his head. I didn't think he would really take you away, he explained. I'm sorry. So what's going on in the picture, guys?
Oh, she's making the cupcakes. Yeah.
And what's going on? What else is going on in the picture?
Well, she threw a cupcake at the armadillo, then she has to make another one.
Because there's a whole line of them, huh?
Yeah.
Look at all these armadillos. And what's Gus's what's good? Is he happy or sad?
He's sad because he wants Wendy back, but she's feeding the armadillos cupcakes.
Right, because he traded her away, right?
Yeah.
To Zoob. So now he's sad, he wants her back. See what happens next. Then Zoob appeared, grinning a big grin. Look at him grinning. And what does he say? He says,